All right, guys, we're getting ready. This is the last day I'm about to go live with you guys. So this is Sunday at about 11:45. I'm going live at noon, which you guys will have seen yesterday. But I have some things I want to go over with the trailer and just get stuff moved. It is nice and brisk outside. I'm loving this weather. Absolutely loving this weather. But it's a little cold to be working on stuff, in my opinion, but I'm gonna do, I have all my straps and stuff. I want to get this stuff put back on the trailer. I'm gonna basically check everything over, make sure everything's gonna be good. This, I can't take it today, but I'm gonna drop this off tomorrow at Fleet Pride, and we'll be rolling by Tuesday. So I'm planning on trying to book 3 down for Tuesday, and we'll go from there. Then after all this is done, once this is inspected, ready to go, we're good. Then I'm gonna start worrying back about the truck. I just wanna get this thing 100% first. So I'm gonna be getting mud flaps on order for the back here. I wanna pull these in a little bit and then, you know, get a nice set of mud flaps for that. I wanna find some time to get this thing dropped off at a body shop, because I'm gonna basically have them do like all of this. And if they decide to get rid of the body filler and weld it, that's fine, but that's what I'm gonna do. So I want to get all these holes blocked off, and then get, at the bare minimal, I want to get the bed resprayed, okay, at the bare minimal. Then we can start worrying about this stuff later, but I at least want to get the bed perfect and go from there. I do want to get the spare tire, because this will fit in the factory spot, but I don't know if you guys can see under there, I actually cut the tire mount out, as I do on pretty much all these trucks. Now, the reason I cut it out before, this thing had a wheel lift on it, and that wheel lift weighed about 1,000 pounds. I think it was like 950, give or take. So it basically took up that whole area. So I had it on both of my 2500 dually swap trucks, and what I ended up doing was just cutting that out and plopping the wheel lift up in there. I know a bunch of people from my old channel would have known I used to run power only down to Florida and back, and then every now and again I'd grab a car with that, and we ended up bending the frame on my other 2500. That kind of sucked, but that's basically, you know, little plans here and there. I was talking to you guys about, like, there's things that I want to do, and I'm gonna get, I haven't done the live yet, so I'm gonna be asking on there to see what your kind of opinion is. But I have two, let's get this hood popped. Ugh. I have 2 turbo setups, okay? So this being the first one is, I have an HE341 down here, okay? Now, I do plan on getting my HE351 built at some point to a 67. I also have a VGT turbo HE351 VE in the storage unit, which I'm considering putting back on for the exhaust brake, and you know, I'll be able to switch back and forth. I really can't decide on which way I want to go, but I do like the option. I did really like that turbo. The only downside is it is a little heavier, but the VGT is so nice, but it's controlling it. So if anybody has a way to be able to control that mechanically, let me know. I'm gonna be keeping an eye on these gaskets. I don't know if these gaskets are holding the way that I need them to, but we'll see, because it looks like there's a little bit of black down there, but I don't know if I did a good job at cleaning that, so I might be off there a little bit. But yeah, so I want to get an intake for it at some point, a little bit better one than this, that doesn't, better air setup. I want to get rid of one of the batteries. One battery, like this battery right here, was perfectly fine in starting this thing, but when I had the gauges, there was a little bit tiny amount of a draw, so when you'd start it, it would turn the gauges all back to blue. But the other plan is, I want to get rid of this entire pod setup and go with the Banks. They have the it's one pod, and you can get all of the gauge functions on there. I need boost, fuel pressure, oil pressure, and EGTs, and I want that on one small pod. And I'm gonna get rid of this, and I'm just gonna put the factory one back in, and then move that pod, maybe like put it down here or something. But I like that setup a lot more than the Edge, because the Edge, every time there was like a little bit of a draw, or something, you disconnected the batteries or something, it was a pain, because it would always ask you Dodge, Ford, Chevy, or this and that. Or even if you started it up, it only got halfway through its sequence and then you shut it off. Like say I want to come over here and I back under my trailer and shut it off quick. Well, now it's gonna freak out and go through its whole setting situation. So I kind of want to get rid of that. So that's another step. But let me know what you guys think about the VGT. You guys will already have seen, but VGT setup on this, imagine 12 valve with an exhaust brake and getting it to work properly. So let me know what you guys think about that. And then trying to figure out how to get it to work without it being electronic. But aside from that, I also need, here's another thing in the plans. I had a high idle switch. This thing used to work really good. I need to get another connector for the other side so that this can be pulled a lot smoother. So there's that, but basically the interior's done. Just, you know, I want to clean the seats a little bit, maybe get these re-cushioned, reupholstered. I did end up going with the ones that weren't power. And, you know, there's this little guy down here. But honestly, after thinking about it, this seat sits in the perfect position. And I was always tired of accidentally hitting the buttons. So super happy, full cloth interior, no more leather, screw the leather. I hated the leather. I like how everything came. Now, tint. I know, commercial vehicle, not really supposed to do that, but let me know. If anybody wants to help me out with this. I know Adam mentioned something, but you're all the way up in Maine, I believe you said, so I can't really go up to Maine. But I want the brow done to the legal mark. I want that done flat across. We'll probably do 2.5% on that. I want 2.5% on the windows. I want completely black in the back, and I want completely black back here as well. So let me know if that's something else you can do. But let me know if I missed anything. There is another motor in the plans because, you know, this motor could probably go for a few hundred more thousand miles, which it very much so may, but I want to get another motor for this truck, re-gasket it, re-stud it, and just go over that motor top to bottom without pulling it open. I just want to do head studs and like do all the preventative maintenance and all of the, like every gasket I want to do while it's off, and then we're going to swap the motor on this truck for the other one. Still looking for a two-wheel drive NV5600 and a drive shaft. If you have something, let me know. I will trade you my setup for your setup. Basically, you're gonna swap from I want the two-wheel drive, you want the four-wheel drive. So swap me out there so I can save a little bit of weight, and I can just, it's a lot simpler, and that's what I want. So let me know if anybody wants to hit me up. Instagram is in the description. Snapchat that was down in the description. I still have the Snapchat, but I will not be using it anymore because I just cannot keep up with the messages on there. I get a ton of them, and Snapchat always deletes the messages, so I forget who you are half the time. So it's like, if you have any business inquiries or questions or any of that, feel free to send me a message down on Instagram. Like I said, link in the description. But that is pretty much gonna do it for this. I'm gonna go live, and then I will come back to this in a little bit. You can see it's 11:54, so I'm gonna start working on that. They greased the hell out of this. Damn. I'm gonna have to wipe some of that off. But aside from that, tell me what you guys think. How do you think they did on these? I think these came out well. Not the best welding job in the world, I guess. I definitely would have taken a lot more time. I'll probably clean that up at some point and weld it myself. But back here, I think they did a phenomenal job on these. But I do think the bill was a little high, and I do wish that this side was a little, you know, they were even with each other. I get that it makes sense that it's a little lower so that I can see how close this is to me. But I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Honest opinions. But all right, let's go get this live started, and I'll be back to you guys in a little bit. All right, while we out here working, I need to take all that stuff. We'll throw all that into a bucket. Gotta figure out what to do with these. I really don't know. I don't know what you guys think, but with chains. So I don't really think we're gonna be bringing stuff up here that doesn't have, let's say, doesn't have wheels or whatnot. So it's like, should I even keep those chains on this trailer, or should I just move them over, keep them for when I get a freight trailer? What do you guys think? Because I'm thinking I'm gonna put them in the unit. I wanna get the storage unit cleaned out now. Maybe move that tire somewhere where it's a little bit more practical, and we'll go from there. But I guess we'll see. Let's get these damn things off. All right, so I got all the straps in the boxes, pulled out what we're not gonna use. So these, I'm gonna save these for when I get a freight trailer, just in case I ever decide to move a car with them, and these will go in that. Same with chains. We don't need chains. We don't need these straps. And there's pry bars I pulled out, but here it is. And then I also put my snatch block. I usually always keep these on the winch anyway, so I left that there. And then, oh, I forgot a strap, so I'll have to put that one in. But everything's cleaning up. At some point, I do want to get some mounts to keep this held down. But in the meantime, I'm not going to worry about it. Same with those. I want to get some mounts made. But with how expensive it was just to put some tire racks on, I'm probably not going to do that. I'm probably just going to do it myself at some point and go from there. But like I said, this trailer will not fit into the garage that I have access to. All right, so I came over here. I moved this guy from this spot here up here. Nice and neat. All the wires are nice and tucked in there. Okay, we have this guy here. I pulled the battery box out, which I am going to get this battery box cut off just because of the way that it was welded. It's way too long for what it is, and you guys can see down there, like, see how much extra long it was. Like, the battery came to here, so I'm gonna get that cut off and we'll think of another system. But basically what I did was I took the power wires from this, okay, and I coupled them onto this. So basically this is all, you guys can see right there, there's a junction box. This whole wire will now be able to reach all the way to the front of the truck. Now what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to get a cables, two just like that, and I'm going to run them along the truck back to a plug, kind of like that one right there. I'll have a secondary plug so that I'll be able to take these, run these all the way down the neck, and then when I plug in my 7-way, I'll be able to also plug in the winch itself. So this will be able to run off of the truck batteries, and then we never have to worry about dead batteries on the trailer anymore. So that's what I'm gonna do. It also takes a little bit of weight. I cleaned up a little bit of wiring, stuff like that, and it cut out a ton of weight, getting rid of all of the chains, a couple of these straps that I really don't need, these pry bars I'm not gonna need, and a battery. So every little bit, what I'm gonna end up doing, now I'm gonna pull up to the unit and we're gonna get this thing cleaned out. We're gonna clean out any tools that I don't think I'm gonna need for the road. I'm gonna get rid of or put in the unit, like same with the vise. Obviously don't need a heavy vise. So I don't know exactly how much into this weight savings thing I'm gonna get into, but thought about getting aluminum wheels. Someone said they save about 30 pounds a wheel, which is 180 pounds. I don't know if the $3,000 price tag for aluminum wheels justifies it, but we'll see. We'll see. Maybe someday, you know, once everything's paid down, we'll be able to put some nice Alcoas on this thing. But I really do like these. I really do like these simulators. So we'll see. Let's keep going with it and getting things cleaned up. All right, we're going through cleaning stuff out now. I'm getting rid of a bunch of hammers. Anything in here is the keep pile. This is all stuff I don't need. I've had like doubles of these and a few 36s, bunch of pins like this. I'll keep that. Vise out, spare starter gonna leave here. I will keep a spare U-joint because those are these are light, so that doesn't matter. Oil filter, gonna keep that here. There's no point in destroying an oil filter, leaving it with me. Whereas I know when I need to do an oil change. If it's time to do an oil change, I just do it when I get home, or I'll bring it with me when I know it's gonna be time. Earmuffs, not gonna need them. I'm gonna switch out the factory air box or air intake as well, just because like I have an aluminum one in there and it's pretty terrible. So getting everything going. Let's see, what else did I bring back here? The chains, all the straps, the binders, and the come along is here. Probably should bring the come along with me, but I've saved those. I took out this stuff because I said I was gonna make new window shades and I keep forgetting about it, and I'm tired of having it in there and being in the way. Moved a bunch of stuff back there. So it's all little things. Obviously can only get so much out, but like, you know, things like if you take a bunch of things out that are like this heavy, this all adds up. Whereas this one piece by itself does not make a difference. It's when you start taking a bunch of stuff like this and this. Okay, here's 30 pounds. Okay, here's another, you know, 20 pounds. It's like it all adds up a little bit. So not to mention, it also clears a lot of the clutter. Imagine trying to filter through all this stuff when all I need is like a pin and this is all the way at the bottom. So that's where it also makes sense. So trying to get everything decluttered and go from there. But yeah, so here's how she's coming out. Like, this is all stuff I can reach in there now, and it's all good, like not a big deal. So little steps, baby steps. All right, so we've got a lot of stuff out that is just not needed. I'm gonna leave the come along here this time and try out that new winch setup, and if we need to come along, we'll you know, throw it back in. But here you go. Now I'm gonna start messing with the engine side of things. Let me check the coolant, and you guys can see there how like angled that is and everything. So I'm just gonna put the factory air thing back in the tube, and we'll go from there. It doesn't look like we're leaking. I fixed the fuel leak right there, so I definitely need to spray this thing off. See if there's any coolant in here, but probably not. So for some reason there was a little bit of marks right here, so I don't know if I was leaking something or not, but I am definitely gonna throw some coolant in there because she's looking pretty dry, and then we'll get rid of this guy down here, and yeah, we put it back up here into this. So let's do that quick. All right, so a couple of things, right? Factory air box. Half the people might agree with it, half the people might disagree with it. Why factory air box is a good thing if you're running OTR is because you can get air filters anywhere. Now, I am going to get a cold air intake at some point for this. One, it'll clean up the engine bay a little bit. Not really anything other than that. That's really why I'm getting it. Two, since I only run Florida to New Jersey and I'm home every week, I don't have to worry about when my air filter goes bad, because when I get back is when I can replace it. Same with oil changes. So when you're running factory parts, you can get them a lot easier than you can when you're an OTR driver and you have aftermarket parts, and now you're looking for, say you need something aftermarket like an air filter or your fuel filters for your air dog or your fast pump. Well, if you have factory stuff, it makes it a lot easier to get it. So unless you're home every day or at home every week, I don't recommend aftermarket stuff. That's just how it is. It's simplicity and ease of being able to get the parts, but that's basically my logic there. So as for that, I think we're about done with the trailer. I'm gonna go down here and watch my GoPro die as I'm walking down here. Show you guys kind of what's going on. I gotta find a spot for that spare tire. That's the one for the truck. I think what I might end up doing is just keeping one spare tire for the truck and one spare tire for the trailer. So like this one here, obviously this would be the trailer tire, but since we got a flat, maybe I'll put the truck spare over here. So that way I have one spare. Now I do have TPMS coming at some point for the tires, so I won't have to worry about blowouts like most people do, because TPMS is a lifesaver. But I would have to get another rim. The only downside is these rims are very heavy. So we'll see what I do. I'm gonna keep this one here in the back of the truck for now. Probably end up cutting this thing off once we get on the road. You can see there's a weld here on both sides, and then there's one directly right there. So I'll get that cut off. I don't know if we're gonna save any weight with that, but I definitely don't need it. And I wonder what that thing's for. I would assume a snatch block, but I don't know. So everything's cleaned up, everything's simplified. Wiring, look at this. Like the wiring kinda wasn't my favorite thing in the world when I got the trailer. So everything, like I said earlier, is all cleaned up. This is I just have this zip tied in place. Not that, you know, it's gonna matter too much, but everything is, you know, loomed together, and we'll just keep making improvements. So I think the next step is figuring out how to get this system to work. Like I said, I'll probably run these wires like down along here, go up, and then run it alongside the 7-way here, and then that'll just plug into the truck. So perfect. I'm gonna put this tire, I'm gonna put this on the trailer a while, just so that just so I don't lose it. Oh, there you go. Hope you guys enjoyed the segment. Gotta go scrap these backing plates. You guys can see the magnets are bad. So yeah, aside from that, hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Have a good one.